Hello everyone, good evening to all. Just confirm me once in the chat box that my voice is audible and this PDF file is visible to you. Yes, sir, just confirm me once in the chat box. Okay, okay. So very warm good evening to all of you. And today we are going to start our discussion on a very important topic for GST officers and staff related to the GST audit finalization and revenue finding techniques. Although I know that you all are capable to do the audit, but this session is just for the effectiveness and for the efficiency in your GST audit or while doing the GST audit. Okay, because the main task during the GST audit for a particular client, for a specific client, is the finalization and the revenue finding techniques. Okay, so that you can identify the major para, you can identify the major issues, and you can report the same in your final report in the MCM, and also you can find out the things through the analysis of business so that business can also enhance the compliances and effectiveness. Okay, that is what is the motto of the GST audit. And with that perspective, we are coming with this live course on GST audit finalization and revenue finding techniques. Okay, we already mailed this PDF file to all. Okay, if someone has not received the same, then also will once again send the particular type of file to your registered mail ID by today evening as well. Okay, now, sir, in this particular session, as this session, this course is completely based on practical approach. Okay, uh, so many participants are going through with this particular course through recorded videos due to elections. Okay, so हम लोग जितने भी लोग हैं लाइव में थोड़ा सा आनंद लेकर के पढ़ेंगे, थोड़े से अच्छे से कॉन्सेप्ट कवर करेंगे, प्रैक्टिकल वे में कवर करेंगे. बट द पॉइंट इज दैट द सेशन शुड बी इंटरेक्टिव. आई जस्ट वांट योर सपोर्ट. ओके, if you have any question, any doubt, any point, then please ask the same in between the session. Don't wait for the last moment. We are going to take your queries immediately. We will not wait for the last moment. Okay, second, if you have pen and paper, then just keep with you. Okay, so that if you will find out any important point, any specific point, in that case just put note of that particular point. Okay, all this particular file is completely based on the GST guidelines issued by the department. Okay, regarding the GST audit, we have covered the crux of that particular book. Also, very soon we are going to launch our chart based book for the GST officers. कई बार क्या होता है, मोटी book I am not able to understand and I am not able to read. Okay, for that perspective, very soon we are coming with a chart based book specifically for the GST officers and staff, so that they can go through with that book very easily in a very less amount of time. Okay, uh, also this session is completely based on techniques and this is completely a technical session. I will share with you multiple techniques regarding the GST audit finalization and revenue finding techniques. Okay, we'll start our discussion from the basics and we are also going to cover the advanced level. I am not able to discuss about the various provision of law in this particular course. But if you want to discuss on any specific provision of law, any specific section, you may comment in the chat box. अगर यहाँ पर feasible हुआ, will definitely discuss. और अगर यहाँ पर feasible नहीं हुआ, in that case, we'll provide you recorded video for that as well. Okay, this is a gift from my side. So, are you ready for this particular session for this evening regarding this GST audit finalization and revenue finding techniques? The mode of communication of this session will be Hindi and English. Both will use English language more. Certain example will be in Hindi language. But if you have any issue related to the languages, you just need to put the same in the chat box. We'll convert that particular example into English or into Hindi as per your convenience. Okay. Now, without wasting a single second, we are going to start our discussion on this GST audit finalization and revenue finding techniques. Now, first of all, I just want to discuss about certain important aspect or certain paras related to the GST audit. While doing the GST audit, while doing the GST audit, you are starting your GST audit, or you are going to start your GST audit through the demand of the financial statement. Am I right? In between the session, multiple time I will ask you that this concept is okay for you. Are you getting the point? Or I will also ask with you certain questions. So this is your responsibility to provide the answer in the chat box so that the session will be interactive. Okay. So 99% cases you are going to initiate the audit through the analysis of the financial statement. First we are going to demand the audited financial statement, or through that financial statement we are going to do the audit. Okay. We are also going to check multiple reconciliations. Okay. We are also going to analyze the profit and loss account of that particular entity, and we are just focusing on the revenue finding. Okay. But I am just going to share with you one important thing, that in maximum cases, you will find out nothing related to the reconciliations. Very rare chances that you will get something related in the financial statement. Okay, we'll also discuss on that point as well कि कैसे आप लोग financial statement से कोई point कैसे get कर सकते हो. But now the point is that there are certain other things, certain other important things on which you need to focus. Okay. कभी हमने सोचा है the time of supply is a very crucial area for finding the revenue for the government. और यहाँ पर कई सारी गलतियां हो रही है. कई बार क्या होता है ड्यूरिंग द ऑडिट, my main motive is not to identify, not to detect the revenue. My main motto, my main target is to identify the compliances, to check the compliances, to check certain things that the particular things are genuine in that business entity or not. Now, this is also a very much important segment, that is my time of supply. Also, one based is my place of supply. Another base is my value of supply. At the end, I am going to classify the input tax credit. Although the input tax credit plays a very important role, a very unique role, but the first priority on these three segments, because you all know very well about the input tax credit. आप लोगों को idea है, and you are going to identify multiple revenue leakage. You are going to identify multiple default at the end of compliances from input tax credit perspective, but you are not going to provide the complete details, or we are not able to check the complete details related to time of supply, related to place of supply, related to value of supply. So in this particular course, my focus, the main focus will be on these three aspects as well. Okay, I will provide you the brief detail about these three aspects as well, that what the things you need to check from the perspective of time of supply, place of supply, and the value of supply. Okay, so let's start our discussion from the PDF file. First, I am going to start the components. Okay, first I am going to start the components of the books of accounts and the records. Because if I want to finalize my audit, so before finalizing, I just need to initiate the audit. Okay. So what are the relevant points? I am not going to cover each and every point related to beginning of audit, but I am going to cover the relevant points which you need to keep in our mind from the perspective of initiating the business audit, initiating the departmental audit, and also this point is relevant for the scrutiny of returns. Okay. कई बार क्या होता है, हम लोग सोचते हैं सर बिजनेस ऑडिट पे तो हम लोग हमेशा बात करते हैं, डिपार्टमेंटल ऑडिट पे हम लोग हमेशा बात करते हैं, व्हाट अबाउट स्क्रूटनी ऑफ रिटर्न्स? Okay, so the same principle will be applicable on the scrutiny of returns as well. When you are going to issue the scrutiny of returns related notices, or when you are going to check the data related to your notices on account of scrutiny of returns, in that case, that part will also very much important, and you need to take care of these particular points while doing the scrutiny of returns as well. Okay, now the question from Tanisha ji is how can we bifurcate data in pan India based GST number? GST number is state specific. You have to take the GST number for each and every state. I am not getting your point, Tanisha ji. Next, first, to initiate the business audit, the primary knowledge about the business pattern. Because when you want to initiate the audit of that particular business entity, in that case, the first and foremost requirement is that you have idea about the proper knowledge about the business pattern. Because अगर आपको बिजनेस पैटर्न का आइडिया नहीं है, इफ यू हैव नो आइडिया अबाउट द बिजनेस पैटर्न और इफ यू हैव नो क्लियर आइडिया अबाउट द बिजनेस पैटर्न, in that case how you can decide the provisions related to applicability of place of supply, time of supply, value of supply, related to the GST rate, okay, related to the definition of supply, that the activity or transaction is fall under the definition of supply or not, how you can determine. Because while doing the audit we are not based on the data submitted by the taxpayer, हमको कुछ external confirmation भी लेने होते हैं, and we are also going to demand the documents based on, we are also going to demand the documents based on the nature of the industry, based on the requirement of the industry. So we need to keep in our mind that these things plays a very important role. So the knowledge of the business is required. Because suppose आप business को नहीं समझते हो, if you are not going to understand the nature of business, in that case how you can identify that all the products are taxable or not? If that particular business entity is dealing in taxable as well as in exempted product, in that case there is requirement of rule number 42 and 43. And as we all know that rule number 42 and 43 is a very crucial aspect, and you can find out maximum default in this rule number 42 and 43. So first you need to identify the nature of the business entity, that this entity is dealing is exempted as well as taxable product. Then where is the calculation of rule number 42 and 43? What about the capital goods purchased during the financial year? What about the capital goods sold during the financial year? Sir, one more important point, revenue leakage से related कोई मैटर हम लोग एट द एंड डिस्कस नहीं करने वाले. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू डिस्कस एनी मैटर एट द एंड रिलेटेड टू रेवेन्यू फाइंडिंग टेक्निक्स. In between our discussion related to the audit finalization, we are going to discuss the revenue finding techniques. क्योंकि अगर मैंने दोनों को सेपरेट कर दिया, if I am going to separate both these aspects, that is audit finalization and revenue finding, in that case it will be quite difficult for you to understand the things. Okay, hence when we are going to understand the concept at the same time, we are going to understand the implication of revenue in that specific case, so that you can easily correlate the things. Is that okay? Now you also need to aware about the existing trade practices, okay, because this is also a very much important task. When you will understand the trade practices, I am just going to share with you the example, and through that example I am going to explain the situation, okay. In case when you will understand the trade practices, in that case only you will know that this particular entity is dealing in job work or not. And if that particular entity is dealing in job work, in that case the applicability of ITC 04 is there. You just need to check that the ITC 04 is correctly filed or not. And if the ITC 04 is not correctly filed, in that case this is also implication for revenue. You also need to check that the proper job work challan registered is maintained or not. In this trade practices, you also need to identify कहीं वो बंदा goods को sent on approval basis पर तो नहीं भेज रहा है. Whether the particular business entity is sending the particular goods on sent or approval or not. Or in that case, if the particular business entity is sending the goods on sent or approval basis, in that case we have to check the proper treatment in the books of accounts. We also have to check that if the same goods is not received within 6 months, in that case the same should be treated as sales. So from that perspective also we need to identify or check the sale on approval basis. So कैसे मुझे पता चलेगा? How I can identify that these things I have to check through the analysis of the trade practices. So before initiating the audit or while initiating the business audit, you just need to know, you just need to clear in your mind that about the knowledge about the business pattern of the entity. You just need to have the idea about the trade practices. You also need to check that what are the relevant statutory provisions which will be applicable on that specific industry. क्या उस इंडस्ट्री के ऊपर कंपनीज एक्ट एप्लीकेबल हो रहा है, whether the income tax act is applicable on that particular act, particular entity or particular business, whether there is a applicability of ESI and PF, what about the salary and wages. So all those things we need to check so that we can identify the quantum of exempted supply as well. Okay, so that is what is the motto. हम लोग जो भी point discuss करेंगे will also discuss on the motto of that particular point as well. You also need to check that the proper books of accounts are maintained by the particular person or not. And if the proper books of accounts is not maintained by the particular person, in that case, there will be a penalty of 25,000 rupees under CGST, 25,000 rupees under SGST, the general penalty which is applicable in case of GST. Now your question will be that what about the maintenance of books of accounts, or what is the list of books of accounts which is required to be maintained under GST law? So we'll discuss on that as well later on. So these are the things we need to be very much careful from initial point so that we can finalize the GST audit in a perfect and in an efficient way. We also need to check that all the records, all the documents which is submitted by the taxpayer should be in electronic form. Don't take any form in physical way. Try to collect all the data, all the documents in a digital mode. जबकि rather एक्चुअल में होता क्या है, वी आर गोइंग टू डिमांड द सेल्स लेजर इन पीडीएफ, वी आर गोइंग टू डिमांड द परचेज लेजर इज पीडीएफ, आरसीएम लेजर पीडीएफ में लेके आ जाना, एक्सपेंडिचर लेजर रिक्वायर्ड इन पीडीएफ, डेटर क्रेडिटर लेजर रिक्वायर्ड इन पीडीएफ. व्हाई देयर इज रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ पीडीएफ, व्हाई देयर इज रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ प्रिंट आउट? जस्ट टेक द सॉफ्ट कॉपी ऑफ द डॉक्यूमेंट्स इन एक्सेल so that you can make your analysis. Okay, very soon we are going to plan one specific session on the Excel analysis, that how you can use your Excel from that GST audit perspective. Okay, so in this session we'll discuss on the techniques. In one more session we'll plan related to the Excel. So you just need to demand the documents in Excel. You need to convert the data. You just need to make certain filters, and through that filter you can easily identify the things. If you required certain physical documents, in that case, take the certified copy. Don't take uncertified copy. This is a mandatory thing. कई बार क्या होता है, we are going to demand the documents, accountant is going to provide us the relevant document, and we are going to take that document without authentication. And if we raise any revenue or we raise any demand on account of that particular document which is unauthorized, in that case, departmental entity or that business entity will say that, sir, हमने जो उस समय डॉक्यूमेंट प्रोवाइड किया ना, वो हमने प्रोवाइड ही नहीं किया था ना, दिस इज द लेटेस्ट वन. दिस मे बी पॉसिबल. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी अवेयर. मैं ऐसा नहीं कह रहा हूं सब लोग ऐसे करते हैं, कोई 1000 में से कोई एक बंदा भी अगर ऐसा कर लेता है, इन दैट केस पूरी कम्युनिटी यहां पर इमेज डाउन. द पॉइंट इज दैट दीज थिंग्स वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड वेरी केयरफुली. if there will be any oversight or ignorance की वजह से कोई मिस्टेक हुई है, if there will be any mistake due to oversight or ignorance, in that case departmental authorities will ignore the same. कई बार क्या होता है, हम हमारे ईगो में आकर के, because this is the genuine situation I am going to share with you. Many time we are just going to issue the order, we are just going to issue the order on the basis of the negligence or oversight. उसके कारण से वो अपील में जाता है, अपील में जाकर के वहां पर जो है वो केस रिजेक्ट हो जाता है और वो पार्टी विनिंग सिचुएशन में जाती है. सो वी नीड टू बी वेरी मच केयरफुल दैट इफ देयर विल बी एनी टेक्निकल डिफॉल्ट, इफ देयर इज एनी oversight mistake due to oversight, in that case we should ignore these particular type of things. Confidentially should be maintained. And one more important task is that you just need to check that the books of accounts are maintained as per Indian accounting standard or not. This is also a very much important question which is asked in your report as well. So you should be very much careful while finalizing the books of accounts or while finalizing the audit. You just need to ensure that all the Indian accounting standard, that is Ind AS, is followed. These Ind AS is applicable for the accounting, and now the higher authorities are demanding your line or your certification on behalf of that particular Ind AS as well. Okay. So before providing any comment, you just need to have the idea about the applicable Ind AS or how you can identify the applicable Ind AS. For that purpose, you just need to check the nature of that business entity. और जैसे ही आपने उस business entity का नेचर चेक कर लिया, जैसे ही आपने उस बिजनेस एंटिटी का नेचर चेक कर लिया, यू कैन इजीली आइडेंटिफाई द इम्प्लीकेशंस. ओके, you can easily identify that which particular type of Ind AS will be applicable on this particular business entity. So this is the important thing from the perspective of books and records and from the initiating of the business audit. Okay, these are my 5 to 7 points related to the initiation of the business audit. All these points are okay for everyone. Just comment me in the chat box. I am waiting for your reply in the chat box that the basic points, the initial stages points are okay for you. Now, registration migration analysis. Suppose now this point is although not valid, okay, if you are doing the audit or if you are going to issue any notices for the last that is financial year 17-18, in that case you have to check the previous registration details, whether there will be any demand on that particular account or not. We just need to ensure that particular type of thing. Okay, now रिटर्न एनालिसिस. सर, कई बार होता क्या है, we are just demanding the reconciliation while doing the GST audit, while doing the business audit. We are demanding various reconciliation. We are saying that please provide us the reconciliation of the GSTR 1 and 3B. GSTR 3B and 2B. Okay. Now the point is that whether we are doing the return analysis or not, whether we are doing the analysis of return or not. Are you doing the analysis of return? Just comment me in the chat box. Or you are just checking the reconciliations, because this is the part of finalization. Reconciliations, to check the reconciliations are the initial work, but to check deeply the return filed by the taxpayer is the main work. Okay. So are you doing the analysis of the returns filed by the taxpayer? What is to be covered in this particular return analysis? So the first thing you need to check, which is your HSN code and service accounting code. We all know that taxpayer is going to file the GSTR1 return and provide the HSN code and SSC code. Okay, so when you will analyze the GST return of that particular party, at the same time initially already you have checked the nature of that particular business entity. So you just need to cross verify that all the HSN code, SSC code which is mentioned in the GSTR1 is commensurate with the nature of the business. जो उसने HSN code, SSC code दिए हैं वो उसके nature of business से tally कर रहे हैं. ऐसा तो नहीं है that particular person is doing the business of textile and that particular person is going to feed the HSN code as the hardware product seller. In that case, this will create certain things. Okay, so you just need to analyze, you first need to analyze from the nature of the industry. You just need to check the HSN code, SSC code, which is mentioned on the GSTN common portal, and the same should be tally from the GSTR1 return. Okay, जो भी पॉइंट हम लोग आज डिस्कस करेंगे, आई विल ऑल्सो प्रोवाइड यू द टेक्निक्स दैट हाउ यू कैन क्रॉस वेरीफाई दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, कैसे आप उसको क्रॉस वेरीफाई कर सकते हो. HSN code of the goods, SSC of the services dealt in by the registered taxable person should be verified where available to ensure that such are in conformity with the schedules and notification. It is to be checked that the proper rate of tax thereupon was applied. First, I have checked the HSN code, SSC code from the business. Then after, I have to check that the rate of GST, whatever will be the rate of GST charged by that particular taxable person, is correct as per the HSN code or not. Because as we all know that when the person is going to file the GSTR1 return, when that person will file the GSTR1 return, at the same time that person is going to provide the rate wise detail. So you just need to cross verify the rate wise detail with the HSN code mentioned in the GSTR1 and also the same HSN code, SSC code mentioned on the GSTN common portal. You just need to check the same, because if the HSN code and the SSC code which is maintained on the GSTN common portal or mentioned on the GST common portal are differ from the nature of business, in that case you just need to highlight the same point in your report. So this is my first point related to HSN code and SSC code. From that written perspective, you also need to check the time of filing of the returns. You just need to check that the taxpayer is going to file the return on time or not. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा है, suppose every month filing of GSTR 3B return is 20th of the next month, but that particular entity is going to file delayed return every time. Every time that person is going to file the return on May 30th, May, on April. Okay, that means that person is not going to file the return till the timeline which is mentioned for the GSTR 3B return. एक बार हो, दो बार हो, it's okay. But that person is continuously not filing the return on time. In that case, this is also a serious issue. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं that person is already closed the business, that person is dealing in the fake transactions or paper transactions. When the person is going to get the paper transactions, at that time that person is going to pay the taxes. Maybe possibilities there. So whenever there is a delay in filing of the returns, हम लोग क्या सोचते हैं, यार उसके GSTR 3B में डिले है, उसके GSTR 3B में डिले है, and there is also a delay in GSTR1 return, so we just need to demand interest and the late fees. Don't focus your mind till the interest and late fees only. Just think ki if there is a regular delay in filing the GSTR1 and 3B return, in that case there may be chances for the certain paper transactions, certain fake invoicing, certain default with the data. That is what is the possibility in case of regular delay in filing. So this is also important point and we need to take care of it. कई बार एक पर्टिकुलर चीज को देखने के कई सारे नजरिए हो सकते हैं. So we just need to be very much careful that how we are going to analyze that particular type of situation so that the result will be best. Outward supply as declared in form GSTR1, form GSTR3B, form GSTR9 should be compared with the books of accounts. This is the most important task in case of reconciliations. When you are going to do the reconciliation of various things, in that case, you just need to ensure in case of reconciliation, you just need to ensure that the complete data of GSTR1 of GSTR3B are matched with the books of accounts. If there will be any default or if there will be any deficiency in the books of accounts in the reconciliation from the books of accounts and GST portal, in that case this will be a huge issue. Now there is 2 to 3 questions are there. First we'll discuss on that particular questions, then we'll move ahead. Okay. If the taxpayer changed the product built in but has not updated GSTN profile, what action should be taken? So in that case, this should be the part of your para. Okay, you just need to check the genuineness of the business. I am not recommending that in each and every situation you need to charge the journal penalty. You have to charge the journal penalty. We just need to check the situation as well in this specific situation. If you will satisfied with the genuineness of that particular business entity, in that case we may skip that particular point. But if you are not satisfied with the genuineness of that particular business entity, in that case we have to report the same in our report. Okay. When the taxpayer, Tanisha ji is saying, when the taxpayer is filing a reply for any discrepancy, that the amount mentioned in the notice is on. Tanisha ji, I am not getting your point. What do you want to say? You may do one thing, you may connect with me or call. Yes, on the GSTN common portal, we can put 5 HSN code and 5 SSC code. But the point is that on the portal, we can put 4 digit. Okay. And I suppose if the particular person is dealing in 4 to 5 product, that is main product, okay, you just need to provide the only 4 digit HSN code over the GSTN common portal. चाहे वो कितने भी प्रोडक्ट में डील कर रहा हो, चाहे वो कितनी भी तरह की सर्विसेज में डील कर रहा हो, उन 5 डिजिट उस 4 डिजिट एचएसएन कोड में 5 एचएसएन कोड अगर वो फीड करता है, इन दैट केस द कंप्लीट थिंग्स विल बी कवर्ड, बिकॉज इन केस ऑफ हार्डवेयर multiple HSN codes are there. Okay, that was the part of sub HSN codes. Okay, HSN code 4 digit will be covered in 3 to 4 HSN code only. So that is what is the point, that 5 HSN code or 5 SSC code you can put, and that will be 4 digit only. Okay, so that I suppose the maximum component or ingredients of the business will be covered in the 5. Subhead will be there so that you can easily describe the same. पर ऐसा होता है कोई बंदा वहां पर जीएसटी के अंदर पोर्टल पे एचएसएन कोड इज रिलेटेड टू टेक्सटाइल बिजनेस, एंड इफ यू आर गोइंग टू चेक द नेचर ऑफ द बिजनेस एंटिटी इज डूइंग द हार्डवेयर रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट्स, इन दैट केस दिस इज अ सीरियस इशू. ओके. Next, claim of the registered taxable person under different heads like zero rated supply, nil rated supply, exempted supply, non GST outward supply. You just need to ensure the same is matched with the books of accounts. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है that person is going to transfer that exempted supply into the zero rated supply. Okay. Because when you will check the books of accounts while doing the finalization of the GST audit, you also need to check that what type of taxable value heads are there. Taxable value heads are there, which is shown in the return and which is shown in the books of accounts. You need to carefully check the same. You need to be carefully check the taxable value component, that is the bifurcation in the taxable, in the exempted, in the non-GST, in the zero rated. many time you will find out in this particular classification, many time you will find out that certain exempted supply related sales is transferred to zero rated supply. Certain exempted related supply is transferred to the zero rated supply, and due to that होगा क्या, आप कहोगे सर उससे इफेक्ट क्या होगा? So in that case, if there will be any applicability of refund, in that case the amount will be claimed as zero rated, and due to that, that person can claim the refund which will be not eligible or not available for that particular person, for that registered taxable person. We need to ensure that particular thing. If there will be multiple things are there in that particular business entity, in that case you need to ensure that exempted supply is classified correctly, non GST supply, zero rated supply. You can also verify the same from the books of accounts. You also need to take the list of the products and services as well which fall under exempted, which fall under non GST, which fall under zero rated supply. Okay, because each and every software is self-sufficient to generate the list, the complete product-wise list of the exempted supply, of the zero-rated supply. So from that product, you can easily identify. ओके कई बार क्या होता है, एक बिजनेस ऑडिट को करने के लिए मेरे को 1 से 1.5 से 2 महीने लग जाते हैं. ओके, इन राजस्थान we are taking one technical session that how you can handle or how the audit, the GST audit can be finalized in 10 days. ओके हम लोग सब कुछ कवर करते हैं विद इन अ वेरी शॉर्ट अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम विथ इफेक्टिवनेस विथ एफिशिएंसी. ओके, दैट इज द पॉइंट. सो उसके लिए मुझे क्या करना है, एग्जेम्प्टेड सप्लाई, नॉन जीएसटी, जीरो रेटेड. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू चेक द कंप्लीट लेजर, इन दैट केस दिस विल बी टाइम टेकिंग टास्क. फॉर दैट पर्पस you just need to demand the complete list of exempted products with amount. Okay, and you can verify the same through the analysis of your sales ledger which will be available in Excel. So that you just need to make a total of the sales ledger and you just need to check the complete component of taxable, exempted, non-GST and zero rated. If all the total will tally, in that case this list is perfect. Now you just need to verify the exempted sales from the GST and common portal and from the product, that this product fall under exempted or not, so that you can easily identify the things. Or if you have further doubt, in that case you may take the invoices, you may check the product as well. So how you can make your decisions effectively and you can do your audit very effectively in a very less time taking task. Next, if there will be any advance received, how you will identify that advance received? For that purpose you have to analyze the balance sheet. In the balance sheet part under advances, if you find out certain advances amount under loans and advances, you will find out certain advances. So in that case you just need to ask that this advances is for, in that case agar wo bole this advantage is for goods, in that case okay. But if that particular advances is for services, in that case you need to check that GST has paid or not. Okay, so for that purpose you need to take the party wise list of the from whom that particular person has received the advances. जब आप उससे पार्टी वाइज लिस्ट लोगे एडवांसेस की, इन दैट केस यू कैन इजीली वेरीफाई थ्रू द पर्टिकुलर लेजर दैट व्हाट टाइप ऑफ सर्विसेज प्रोवाइडेड. ओके, और अगर वो बोल रहा है गुड्स प्रोवाइड किया है, इन दैट केस आल्सो यू कैन इजीली वेरीफाई फ्रॉम द लेजर ऑफ द एडवांसेस, so that you can easily decide the applicability of GST on the advances received amount. Okay, also अगर उसने कोई गलत एंट्री पुट की, इन दैट केस यू मे चेक द काउंटर पार्टी नेम, और उस काउंटर पार्टी नेम से यू कैन इजीली आइडेंटिफाई दैट दैट पर्टिकुलर पार्टी इज डीलिंग इन द गुड्स और सर्विसेज. Or if that particular party is dealing in goods and services both, in that case you may check the invoices, and through the invoices you can confirm that that person will not be eligible or liable to pay GST on advances because this advance is on account goods. But if that particular advance is on account of services, in that case GST will be applicable. Okay, transactions like import of services, transactions between related party, that is schedule number 1. In that case, you have to check that proper value is there or not. Okay. अभी मैंने बोला था the most important thing, that is my time of supply, value of supply, place of supply. Okay. Now just I am going to share with you one example, and with that I am going to explain you the importance of value of supply. But before taking that example, just confirm me once that you are getting the point. Are you enjoying the session? जो भी हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, आप लोगों को मजा आ रहा है, और you feel that all these points are relevant for us? Now value of supply, because जितने ज्यादा आपके कमेंट आएंगे ना, उतने ज्यादा पॉइंट निकल निकल के आएंगे कि यस, एप्रिसिएशन सबको अच्छा लगता है. एम आई राइट? नाउ value of supply. The point is that the importance of value of supply, we just need to understand. When you will finalize the audit, or when you are doing the business audit of a particular entity, in that case, suppose there is any related party transaction. There is any related party transaction or transaction between the distinct person. Okay, I have one registered office is in Rajasthan. I have another branch is at Jaipur. Okay. So in that case, or I have one distinct person is Gujarat, and if I am going to transfer the input tax credit, if I am going to transfer certain product, or if I am going to transfer or provide certain services to my other business entity, that means suppose X and Y are the related party. Okay, that means X is the head office and Y is the branch. If X is going to send a particular goods to Y, X is sending the goods to Y. In that specific situation, आप लोगों को प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट से इजीली आइडेंटिफाई हो जाएगा. When you will check the trading account, you can easily get that this is a transfer. Okay, and after that you just need to check the value. कई बार क्या होता है, सपोज X ने वो वाला गुड्स Y को दिया फॉर अ sum of 10 lakh rupees. We are going to check that X has paid tax on 10 lakh rupees and Y has claimed the input tax credit on 10 lakh rupees. This transaction is genuine and okay. There is no requirement to check anything. Okay. That is what is the thing we are doing in common sense. Okay. We are just going to check that this is a branch transfer. The value is this, and on this particular value, this particular X is transferred to Y, paid the output tax, and Y has claimed the input tax credit on the behalf of invoice is reflected in the GST are to be written. Everything is fine. Now, point is that just try to understand. The normal price is 10 lakh rupees. X has a excess balance of input tax credit. X has a excess balance of input tax credit in the electronic credit ledger, and Y has a less balance of input tax credit in the electronic credit ledger. So, यहां पर X ने एक प्लानिंग की. X ने बोला I have an excess balance of input tax credit. So if I will prepare the invoice, or if I will provide the invoice to Y for 15 lakh rupees, in that case there will be no issue on my output liability, because there will be nothing I have to pay in cash, or that particular input tax credit I can easily transfer to Y. And also Y has a very less amount of input tax credit balance, तो उसके पास में ITC का बैलेंस भी चला जाएगा, और जब वो फ्यूचर में वहां उस इनपुट को काम में ले पाएगा. इस पर्पस से that person has prepared the invoices at the value of 15 lakh rupees. X has paid taxes on 15 lakh rupees, adjusted the same from the input tax credit which is available in the books of accounts, and Y has claimed the input tax credit on 15 lakh rupees. This is a manipulation. Now, same, vice versa. Example लेना, if X has a less balance of input tax credit and Y has an excess balance of input tax credit, in that case, if that particular person is going to make the invoice for 7 lakh rupees, so Mr. X has to make the output tax payment in cash on a very lower amount. This type of manipulation is also possible. यहाँ पर जब हम लोग उस 15 लाख और 7 लाख को देख रहे थे, हमने केवल ये देखा that person is prepared the invoice for 15 lakh and counterparty has claimed the ITC on 15 lakh. But we have not checked the valuation rule number 28, which will be applicable in case of distinct person. If there will be any supply, any transfer between the related party and distinct person, in that case value of supply cannot be decided as per section number 15 subsection 1. Value should be decided as per rule number 28 of CGST Act, that is open market value. फर्दर वो जितने में सेल करेगा उसका 90%, ओके, ओपन मार्केट वैल्यू फर्दर सेल्स का 90% दैट विल बी हियर. So we just need to check what will be the open market value of that particular product. और आपने उसकी open market value check की. In that case, you found that the open market value of the product is 10 lakh rupees, but that X is going to transfer that product as 15 lakh rupees. That means there is a manipulation of input tax credit. Directly, indirectly, that person is going to transfer the ITC. For identification, when you will analyze the 3CD of that particular business entity, in that case you will find out the complete list of related party transaction. 48(2)(b) is there. When you will check the form 3CD, you will find out all the related parties. Also, I suggest when you will start the audit, at the time you just need to take one list of related parties and you just need to cross tally the same with the 3CD. We are discussing on the audit finalization. So at that time you just need to ensure that all the related parties के बीच में जो transaction हुए हैं, you just need to check that what is the nature of that particular product which you had supplied from X to Y. उस प्रोडक्ट से यू कैन इजीली आइडेंटिफाई द ओपन मार्केट वैल्यू एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो चेक, यू कैन ऑल्सो डिमांड फ्रॉम वाई दैट दिस प्रोडक्ट को आप भी तो मार्केट में बेचोगे, व्हाट विल बी योर सेलिंग प्राइस, जस्ट प्रोवाइड द इनवॉइसेस. एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो चेक द सेम थ्रू द एनालिसिस ऑफ जीएसटीआर 1 ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर वाई. सो बिकॉज एक्सटर्नल पार्टी कंफर्मेशन जो उसने पहले सेल किया गया दैट विल बी परफेक्ट. आपको तो वो इनवॉइस हायर वैल्यू भी दे सकता है, but you just need to check the GSTR1 return of the similar product of previous period so that you can easily identify the price. Uska 90% will be the value of supply. So these are the way so that you can easily identify the manipulation in case of related party. Is that okay? In case of banking, the complete separate valuation rules will be applicable. Okay. In case of banking, the rule number 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 will not be applicable. For that purpose, we need to check the rule number 32. Okay. The specific rules are there related to the banking, related to air travel agent, related to insurance agent, related to the goods which will be sold in case of second-hand goods. So the separate provisions, separate rules are there. This is a specific situation for distinct person and related party. Is that okay, Deshmukh ji? And I suppose how we can identify this point is also clear. I just want to explain you that when there will be a normal situation, general situation, in that case valuation can be decided as per section number 15. But if there will be any specific situation, in that case we just need to focus on the various valuation rules, or manipulation will always be in case whenever there will be certain specific situation. In case of any supply between principal and agent, you need to check the valuation. मैं आपको ये नहीं बोल रहा हूं इन केस ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी सिचुएशन यू हैव टू चेक द वैल्यूएशन. इन केस ऑफ प्रिंसिपल एंड एजेंट यू हैव टू चेक द वैल्यूएशन. इन केस ऑफ ब्रांच ट्रांसफर यू हैव टू चेक द वैल्यूएशन. In case of any disposal, you have to disposal of assets, you have to check the valuation. Okay. So these are the points. In that case, we have to check the valuation. If there will be any banking related things, in that case also we have to check the valuation. In case of any business of air travel agent, although in case of air travel agent there is a specific situation and we just need to check the valuation in one scenario, so that the same will be applicable in all other cases. But you will find out the maximum number of manipulation in case of business, and if there will be any specific situation related to this principal to agent, branch transfer, and disposal of fixed assets, disposal of assets. Is that okay for everyone? Just comment me once in the chat box that this point is okay for you related to valuation, and you get my point related to the importance of valuation. Goods sent for approval or goods sent to job worker should be examined with the books of accounts. Okay, we just need to ensure when you will check the various ledger of that particular business entity, you just need to ensure about the job work, about the sent on approval basis. You just need to provide a filter for 6 months. Okay, if there will be any old goods which is sent on approval basis, okay, in that case we just need to check that the 6 month period has expired or not, and if the 6 month period has already been expired, in that case the same should be considered as sales and GST should be charged. In case when you will check that that person is involved in the job work, that means suppose you are doing the audit of X and X is providing the work to various job workers, job worker A, job worker B, job worker C. In that specific scenario, we just need to ensure that if there will be any unregistered job worker, in that case, the same address is to be added in the additional place of business of Mr. X or not. और अगर ऐसा नहीं है, in that case, whatever is the goods which is transferred to the job worker is treated as the sales, is treated as the supply, and GST will be applicable. Accordingly, we need to be very much careful. So this is the important point from job work and goods sent on approval basis. And we also need to confirm the same from the books of accounts, from the financial statement. This is also an important thing, that is e-way bill. You also need to compare the sales data and the e-way bill data. You just need to compare the sales data and e-way bill data, and if there will be any mismatch in the sales data and e-way bill data, अगर कुछ नॉर्मल डिफरेंस है, इन दैट केस हो सकता है कुछ सिस्टम ग्लिचेस हो, कुछ टेक्निकल इशू हो. बट इफ देयर विल बी एनी सिग्निफिकेंट डिफरेंस, इफ देयर विल बी एनी सिग्निफिकेंट डिफरेंस, in that case month wise e-way bill and month wise sales should be matched. And also if there will be any huge difference in a specific month, in that case invoice wise reconciliation we can do, so that we can identify कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है e-way bill बना दिया but the invoice is not there in the GSTN portal. That means that e-way bill was generated only for the rotation of the particular goods, and after the rotation the invoice has been cancelled. जेन्युइन रीजन भी हो सकता है कि ई-वे बिल गलती से बन गया, वो कैंसिल होना रह गया. ओके, मैं उसके लिए डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूं, बट द पॉइंट इज दैट फॉर दैट पर्पस वी नीड टू डिमांड द एविडेंस दैट सर अगर ये आपसे गलती से हुआ था, बाय मिस्टेक हुआ था, इन दैट केस यू हैव एनी एविडेंस फॉर द सबमिशन ऑफ ग्रेवियंस ऑन द जीएसटीएन कॉमन पोर्टल, you have any grievance letter which you have submitted to your jurisdictional officer. Because if you have generated a e-way bill by mistake for 5 lakh rupees goods, in that case this is your responsibility. You have to inform the same to your jurisdictional officer that we have by mistake generated that e-way bill. At least you have to report that to your jurisdictional officer through your mail. This is also a feasible option. So in that case we need to ensure that extra evidence is available with the taxpayer or not, or if the evidence is not available with the taxpayer, in that case this will be a default and we need to report the same in our audit report. Whenever you are going to do the audit of a particular entity who has claimed the refund, in that case, we know basically there are two situations. In that case, I can file a refund application. One is in case of export, another in case of domestic, that is inverted duty structure. Okay. In case of export, there will be two scenarios for claiming the refund. One is with payment, another is without payment. One is with payment, another is without payment. So now, if suppose you are doing the audit for financial year 2021, in that case, the taxpayer has claimed the refund for that particular financial year. In that case, you just need to ensure about the calculation of refund. You just need to ensure in case of export, the complete invoices related to the exports are tally with the ICE Get portal. You just need to ensure the data over ICE Get portal that these shipping bill and the invoices are matched, the data which is submitted on the ICE Get portal or not, or if there will be any differences, in that case, we have to report the same and we need to take the further actions in that case as well. If there will be any refund on account of without payment of taxes, in that case we have to check the input is genuine or not. Okay, in case of with payment of tax, one important point is that in case of with payment of tax, when you are checking the data or when you are finalizing your GST audit, at that time you just need to ensure whatever is the input tax credit which is there in the particular case for the export with payment of tax, and whatever will be the payment. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट इज 1 लाख रुपीज and payment is just 70,000 rupees. That means that particular entity is going to make the payment to the foreign country. That means the particular entity who is going to make the export, that person is going to receive only 70,000 rupees from foreign country, but that person has an input tax credit balance of 1 lakh rupees. That means that person is going to make the export of a very less amount and they are just going to claim the refund of input tax credit. Okay, also you need to ensure the price of the goods. Okay, हमको पता है whatever will be the price. Suppose if I am going to make sale, if I am going to make sale of a particular product in domestic market at 100 rupees, I cannot sell that product in international market beyond 150 rupees. So we just need to ensure the price that will be part of your valuation. This is also a very much important task, because कई बार क्या होता है हम लोग just check करते हैं that person is make the export, we are going to check the data from the IC Get common portal, and IC Get portal से मैंने check कर लिया कि yes this is the invoice, everything is fine. At that time you just need to ensure that this product which that particular person is going to make the export, what is the domestic price. Suppose the domestic price is 100 rupees and that person is going to sell the product in international market for 200 rupees. In that case this will not be allowed, and in that specific situation that person will not be eligible for any type of refund. That means उस केस में उसका वो रिफंड जो है इनएलिजिबल हो जाएगा. That particular type of task we need to do to find out the revenue leakages. Only reconciliations check karne se we cannot identify anything, because now there will be no any difference in the GSTR 1 and 3B, and if there will be any difference in GSTR 1 and 3B, in that case reconciliation is possible. We just need to ensure the compliance on account of the provision of law, so that उसको हम लोग betterment में जा सकेंगे, वो business की compliances पूरी हो सकेगी. That is what is the motto of this particular thing. So whenever you will check the refund file for the export, this is the most important point. Check the value once. In case of inverted duty structure, If you are checking the inverted duty structure ka refund, in that case you have to ensure about the applicable rate of GST on the outward supply or on the inward supply. And also you need to ensure that while calculating the maximum amount eligible for the refund, maximum amount eligible for the refund, that particular person has considered the correct value, that particular person has considered the correct value of zero rated supply, that means the inverted duty structure ka turnover, because the formula for maximum amount of refund is inverted duty structure turnover divided by adjusted total turnover multiplied by net ITC माइनस टैक्स पेबल और इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर. इन दैट केस वी हैव टू एंश्योर कहीं उसने यहाँ पर इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर का टर्नओवर गलत तो पुट नहीं कर दिया है, whether the particular person has fed the correct value or considered the correct value of inverted duty structure for calculating the maximum amount of refund. कहीं वहां पर कोई डिफॉल्ट और डेफिशिएंसी तो नहीं है, that particular thing we have to ensure. In case of Deshmukh ji, in case of export of services, service agreement is required. You also need to check that the payment is received in the foreign currency or the amount is received in the nostro account. That is what is the point, through that you can easily identify and confirm the things. You need to demand the service agreement. You also need to verify the nature of that particular services. You can also check the performance of that particular service which is performed, and also the payment is to be checked. This is the most important thing. कई बार क्या होता है, they are going to make the export but they are not going to receive the payment in foreign currency. In that case the direct provision is that उसका refund disallow होना चाहिए. If that particular person is not receiving the payment within 1 year, in that case refund should be withdrawn. That means the refund should be repaid by the particular business entity. In that case, when we are doing the business audit at that time, suppose you are doing the business audit of 2019-20, at that time you have found out that that particular person has claimed the refund. In that case you have to check that the complete amount is received in forex or not. If the complete amount has not been received, in that case उस refund को हमको reversal करवाना है. We have to issue the instruction regarding reversal of refund. These are the very silly points, but these plays a very important role. Export वाला काम in case of zero. Also, when we are checking the refund file, we also need to check that the refund is not to be claimed for the capital goods. Okay. Whenever you are going to check the input tax credit, you have to check the various conditions let down regarding the input tax credit. Okay. Now, can we discuss on the conditions of section number 16 subsection 2 for claiming of input tax credit, or you all have the idea? I require your answer in the chat box. We have to discuss the conditions of section 16 subsection 2. Not required. Okay. But we'll discuss 1 to 2 important point. Okay. The first condition to claim the input tax credit, मेरे हर सेशन में मैं इस पे डिस्कशन करता हूं, because this is the important part and we should take care of it, because many time I himself found on account of various revenue leakages on account of this section 16 subsection 2 only. So the first condition is requirement of invoice. Without invoice, input should not be claimed. Second condition, the same is to be reflected in GSTR to be returned. Third condition, the goods has been received. Anyone is there? How you are going to verify the receipt of the goods? I am waiting for your reply in the chat box. How you are going to verify the receipt of goods? for analysis of receipt of goods. For receipt of goods, you have to check the purchase register. And the purchase register जो आप check कर रहे हो, the same should be reconciled with the GSTR 2B. That means you have to check the purchase register which is reconciled with the GSTR 2B. Now, when you will check the purchase register, you just need to demand the purchase register in Excel. I am just going to share with you the technique as well. Okay, this is a very common point, but we have to check. कई बार हम लोग इसको मिस कर जाते हैं और उसकी वजह से बहुत बड़ी दिक्कत हो रही है. Okay, so now you just need to convert the same into Excel, or you need to demand the particular purchase register in Excel file. You just need to put certain filters and just check the last and the second last day of month. Whatever will be the purchase on the last or second last day, you just need to check the POS. That means कहां से उसने वो माल खरीदा है. Suppose I am in Rajasthan and I have bought certain goods from Maharashtra. Okay, I am in Rajasthan and I have bought that goods from Maharashtra. Many times you will find out certain entries as on, suppose at the end of April month, you will find out certain entries on 29th of April or 30th of April. Okay, in that scenario, you just need to ask from the taxpayer that is that possible that you have received the goods from Maharashtra which you have bought on 30th April on the same day. Is that possible? वो बोलेगा नहीं sir, goods I have received on 2nd of May, but I have claimed the input tax credit as on 30th April because the same was reflected in my GSTR to be return. And this is a mandatory condition of section number 16 subsection 2 that when the input will be reflected in your GSTR to be return, in that case you will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. सर वो कंडीशन तो पढ़ ली आपने, वो कंडीशन नहीं पढ़ी कि विदाउट रिसीविंग द गुड्स यू विल नॉट बी एलिजिबल टू क्लेम द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. So in this particular April month, bhaiya, you are not eligible to claim the input tax credit. Suppose this is a matter of financial year 2021. You are doing the audit of 2021 in the 24-25. Suppose during the business audit, you have find out this particular issue. At the same time, आप उस टैक्स पेयर को बोलोगे सर इन अप्रैल मंथ यू वाज नॉट एलिजिबल टू क्लेम द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट बट यू हैव क्लेम द सेम बिकॉज द सेम वाज रिफ्लेक्टेड इन जीएसटीआर टू बी रिटर्न. नाउ यू हैव टू रिवर्स दैट इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. वो बोलेगा सर ओके रिवर्स कर दो, नेक्स्ट मे मंथ में मेरे को गुड्स रिसीव हो गया, आई एम एलिजिबल टू क्लेम इन द मे मंथ. Now the point is that that person will not be eligible to claim the same in May month as well because the timeline for that May month to claim the input tax credit has already been lapsed as per section number 16 subsection 4. Now that person has to reverse for April month and he will not be eligible to claim for the May month. That is what is the important issue. That is what is the important aspect. And through that, you have to verify the purchase register from that perspective. Are you analyzing the purchase register from that perspective? Just comment me in the chat box. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं कि इतना हार्श भी आपको डिसीजन लेना है, बिकॉज अगर मैं एज अ मेरे क्लाइंट की फाइल लेकर के आऊंगा और इफ देयर विल बी एनी इशू इन दैट केस आई विल रिक्वेस्ट यू दैट प्लीज डू नॉट डू दिस, बट दिस इज द प्रोविजन, दिस इज द लैंग्वेज ऑफ लॉ. Also, when you will put your remarks in your audit report, in that case there may be possibility that client will follow this particular type of rules. वरना ये चलते रहेंगे और बाद में एक इतनी बड़ी ह्यूज लाइबिलिटी जनरेट हो जाएगी जिसको पे करना शायद बहुत मुश्किल होगा. So we just need to understand, or this is not any thing which is inserted through the circular जिसको override किया जा सके. This is the specific thing which is mentioned in the section itself. So we need to be very much careful that when you have received the goods, only in that case you will be eligible to claim the input tax credit, because यहाँ पर कोई और वाली condition नहीं है कि कोई एक condition follow कर लो. Is that okay? When you will fulfill all the conditions, only in that case you will be eligible to claim the refund. I am also saying, when you will check the sample invoices, just check that the invoices are as per the provision of law or not. कई बार क्या होता है, इनवॉइसेस तो होती है बट द इनवॉइसेस आर नॉट एज पर द प्रोविजन ऑफ लॉ. एटलीस्ट अगर वो इनवॉइस एज पर द प्रोविजन ऑफ लॉ नहीं है, इन दैट केस आल्सो देयर आर 8 मैंडेटरी थिंग्स आर देयर जो उसके ऊपर होनी चाहिए. जीएसटीएन वहां पर होना चाहिए, एचएसएन कोड वहां पर होना चाहिए, इनवॉइस वहां पर लिखा हुआ होना चाहिए, सप्लायर की डिटेल होनी चाहिए, बायर की डिटेल होनी चाहिए, दोनों के जीएसटी नंबर होने चाहिए, डेट मेंशन होनी चाहिए, सिग्नेचर अथॉरिटी होनी चाहिए, बैंक अकाउंट की डिटेल होनी चाहिए. दीज थिंग्स आर द वेरी मच मैंडेटरी थिंग्स which should be there on the invoice. और अगर वो नहीं है, in absence of these particular things, in that case this invoice, that invoice should not be treated as the perfect invoice. In that case also, this will be the one reason for the denial of input tax credit. I am not saying that you have to reverse the input tax credit or deny the input tax credit, but you at least discuss these things with your client, with the taxpayer, so that बाद में किसी litigation से हम लोग बच सकें. That is what is the motto for discussion of the section number 16 subsection 2. HSN code is mandatory. There is no any relaxation is there. But in many cases for the turnover above or below 1 crore or 2 crore, they are not putting the HSN code. We just need to introduce one suggestive para for that, because there is no any exemption is there for the HSN code. If your turnover is below 5 crore rupees, in that case there is requirement to mandatorily maintain the HSN code 4 digit. If above 5 crore, in that case the 6 digit limit will be there. So we just need to prepare the suggestive para at least. So this is also an important point. अब लगता है गुड्स रिसिप्ट वाला पॉइंट सुनने के बाद कुछ मजा आया होगा. ITC is done. If usage of ITC for payment on account of export is significantly high, in that scrutiny of the availment of ITC is to be checked. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है ITC is a fake. Blocked credit, you should always be check about the blocked credit if there is any blocked credit is there. For that purpose, you just need to demand the item wise purchase summary. When you will demand the item wise purchase summary, that person will provide you the particular name of item, the taxable value of that particular item, and input tax credit. Through that particular item wise summary, you can easily identify and check that this ITC is blocked, this ITC is not blocked, this ITC is claimable, this ITC is eligible. So from the nature or name of that particular input tax credit, you can easily identify the things. Sir, there is any requirement of break for 5 minutes, or if you are not going to take any break, in that case I will conclude the session at 7:55. So it's completely depend on you. बोर हो गया हो तो यू मे टेक अ ब्रेक फॉर 5 मिनट्स, और अगर सब कुछ ओके है, इन दैट केस देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ ब्रेक. ओके. Now, output tax payment is required to be examined to ascertain the interest liability. Any output liability which has been discharged other than by the GST or 3B return, in that case you have to check the interest. Suppose अगर वहां पर कोई scrutiny related notice issue हुआ, if there will be any notices which is issued for the GST ASMT 10, or on account of that GST ASMT 10, if taxpayer is going to make any payment, in that case we have to check the challan that interest is there or not. So for that purpose, कोई ज्यादा expert efforts लगाने ही नहीं है. There is no requirement to make any hard efforts. You just need to check the profile of that particular client and just verify that there is any notice is there or not. And if there is any notice is available on the GST and common portal, just check that any payment is there, or if there is any payment through DRC, in that case you have to check the challan of that particular entity, that interest has been paid or not. It will take around 5 to 7 to 10 minutes, or you can easily satisfy about that thing as well. Also you need to check the interest and late fees in case of delay of filing of the returns. ये तो हम लोग check करते हैं, because this is the first para we are going to prepare, that there is non payment of late fees on account of delay in filing of GSTR 1 for 400 rupees under CGST, 400 rupees under SGST. Okay, so we are preparing this para, there is no problem with that. But the point is that I am just going to focus on the provision or law related aspects which plays a very important role in finding the revenue leakages. Okay, I will also share with you certain examples for the POS, that is place of supply and time of supply as well. No interest is there on the gross payment, because interest is applicable on net payment only. All possible areas related to compliance issues, they may result in short payment and evasion of tax are required to be checked. वो हम लोग एक एक करके डिस्कस करेंगे. So these are the important things which we need to check, or which we need to verify, or which we need to satisfy from that GST return analysis perspective. Okay, so these are the things which is very much important. Total two aspect अभी हम लोगों ने discuss किए हैं. One is related to the initial or initiation of the GST audit, and second is my analysis of GST returns. Both the things are okay for everyone. Just confirm me once in the chat box. तब तक हम लोग discuss करते हैं what type of books of accounts which is required to be maintained by the particular taxpayer. So these are the list, this is the list for the requirement to be maintained the books of accounts. Okay, now annual report and director report, and when you will start the business audit, or when you are going to conclude that particular business audit, at that time also you have to check all these type of documents that the client or the taxpayer has maintained these files or not. The profit and loss account, the balance sheet, the notes of accounts, the tax audit report, statement of income tax TDS, list of HSN SSC code, reconciliation statement in respect of GSTR 9, 1 and 3B, supplier list with GSTN, ledger accounts of the supplier, statement of sales party wise and place of supplier wise, supply for which tax paid in reverse charge mechanism, bank statement for the period under audit, stock register, other documents records as applicable or as provided in section number 35. So this is the list. I am going to share with you the reason for demanding this particular list, because ये documents ले लिए उससे तो audit नहीं होगी. For doing that audit there is requirement to analyze the particular type of documents. So briefly I am going to share with you the uses of this particular documents. Okay, although very soon, that means around 17th or 18th, we have one more session, one more live course on analysis of the financial statement from GST audit perspective. In that particular course, we are going to discuss in a very detailed way, in a very unique way, the analysis of financial statement. But today I am just going to brief you about the points which we need to check through the analysis of financial statement. From the profit and loss account, we are going to check the income and expenditure. Income from GST applicability perspective, expenditure from ITC reversal and RCM applicability perspective. We are also going to analyze the balance sheet from advances from the GST and common portal, that is credit balance. We are also going to check the balance sheet from fixed assets addition and deletion perspective. Notes to accounts, we are going to check from any exceptional remark which is there by the statutory auditor or by the chartered accountant in the particular books of accounts. Tax audit report, we are going to check to identify the related party transactions. If possible, you may prepare a list of the usability as well. Okay, so the tax audit report from the perspective of related party transactions, from any unsecured loan which is there or not, from the closing balance of Senvet credit or the GST input tax credit balance, from the identification of fixed assets chart which is there for addition and deletion, we are going to check that tax audit report. Uske alawa koi use nahi hai. We can also check the ratio which is available. Okay, ratio is also available for last year and the current year. Now टैक्स ऑडिट रिपोर्ट, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ इनकम टैक्स टीडीएस, टीडीएस से हम लोग उसकी इनकम को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं, और इनकम से हम लोग उसकी चार्जेबिलिटी ऑफ जीएसटी को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. सपोज इफ देयर विल बी एनी इनकम ऑफ रेंट which is there due to reduction of TDS, and we not found that particular type of rental income in that financial statement, in that case that TDS statement can tell us about the rent income. Okay, so this is also one thing we can easily identify. List of HSN and SSC code we have already covered, that उस HSN और SSC code की list से I can easily identify the applicable rate of GST. I can easily identify the nature of business, and I can check the same from the GSTN common portal as well. Reconciliation is required for GSTR 9.1 and GSTR 3 be written from the sales perspective, from the input perspective, and the annual reconciliation will be in the GSTR 9. Supplier list with GSTN. Through that we can easily identify if there is any fake supplier is there or not. कई बार क्या होता है, जब मैंने बोला सप्लायर की लिस्ट लेनी है, we are going to take the supplier list, we are going to analyze the same, and we are checking that all the suppliers are genuine. When you will take the supplier list, okay, in that case just do one thing. You just need to take the supplier list with outstanding balance. Okay, and whatever will be the outstanding balance of that particular supplier, you just need to cross verify the same through the creditors on account of that supplier, so that if there will be any manipulation in the list, you can easily identify the same. Okay, so whenever we are collecting the data, we also need to ensure about the genuineness of the data. कहीं वहां पर कुछ manipulation तो नहीं हुआ है, that we need to ensure. Ledger account of the suppliers done, statement of sales party wise and place of supply wise. Okay, this is the important thing, because when you will demand the sales ledger, okay, in that case when you will demand the sales party wise and you are demanding the place of supply as well, so that you can easily identify through the GSTN and through the place of supply. सपोज यू आर डूइंग द ऑडिट ऑफ मिस्टर सीए सचिन जैन. ओके, आप लोगों के पास में मेरी ऑडिट आ गई है, ध्यान से करना हो भाई, कोई रेवेन्यू लीकेज मत निकालना. सो नाउ द पॉइंट इज दैट आई एम रजिस्टर्ड इन राजस्थान. आई एम रजिस्टर्ड इन राजस्थान. I am registered in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and you have also demanded the list of sales, okay, with the place of supply and with GSTN, because you have already attended the session. तो आप लोग डिमांड करोगे. So you have demanded the list of GSTN and the supplier, that means sales party name and the place of supply. Now you have demanded this list from me. Okay, I am in Rajasthan. So now what you need to do, you need to do one thing. GST number pe you just need to put one filter. Just demand this list in Excel and just put one filter over this GSTN. Okay, when you will put the filter on this GSTN, at the same time you just need to select begin with 08. That means Rajasthan ka code is 08 and you just need to check the begin GSTN with 08. So the 08 is there. जैसे ही आप यहाँ पर फिल्टर लगाओगे, all the place of supply will be in Rajasthan. Now point is that अगर आपको यहाँ पर राजस्थान की जगह गुजरात दिख जाए, महाराष्ट्र दिख जाए in a particular entity, that means in that case that taxpayer has to charge CGST or SGST, but by mistake that person has charged IGST because the place of supply is wrongly selected as Gujarat, as Maharashtra. ऐसे कई सारे डिफॉल्ट आए हैं. और when you will put the next filter that is other than 08, in that case you have to check there is no Rajasthan is to be there, and if there is any place of supply with Rajasthan, in that case this is a clear cut indication that in this specific entry IGST is to be charged, but by mistake CGST and SGST has been charged. So this is the impact of place of supply analysis, and you can easily analyze the same if you are going to collect the correct data. Supply for which tax paid in reverse charge mechanism. You just need to take that particular type of list on which the RCM is paid by the taxpayer, and after that you need to compare the list which is mentioned in the section number 9 subsection 3 of CGST Act for the goods and services. अगर उसके बिजनेस पे व्हेन यू विल एनालाइज द प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस एंटिटी, और आपको लगा एज पर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट उसके तो ऐसा भी कोई एक्सपेंडिचर है, सपोज देयर इज अ लीगल फीस इज देयर ऑन व्हिच आरसीएम हैज टू बी पेड, but in this list there is no any legal fees related entries there, that means now we have to raise the para on account of that reverse charge mechanism. Bank statement we are going to check from the entries and transactions perspective and for the payment perspective, and stock register we are going to demand to verify the movement of the stock. कई बार क्या होता है, वी आर गोइंग टू डिमांड द स्टॉक रजिस्टर जस्ट टू वेरीफाई द क्लोजिंग स्टॉक, नो, वी आर गोइंग टू, वी विल डिमांड द स्टॉक रजिस्टर टू एंश्योर अबाउट द मूवमेंट्स ऑफ द गुड्स also. Other document as per section number 35, we are going to demand the creditors as well as the debtors age wise, so that we can easily identify that if there will be any non payment to the creditors within 180 days, in that case input reversal is to be checked. So list the list of documents which we need to demand and the logic what we need to check. So these type of documents is okay for everyone or not? Just comment me in the chat box. Now, कई बार कुछ सिचुएशन आती है रिलेटेड टू द जीएसटी ऑडिट and departmental authorities are quite confused in that specific situation, so we are just going to discuss on that in a very brief way. Okay, just question are there, the audit is found नॉन एग्जिस्टिंग, अगर वो ऑडिटी अवेलेबल एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता है, इन दैट केस वेदर वी नीड टू कंडक्ट द ऑडिट और नॉट, दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. अगर वो बंदा है ही नहीं, अगर वो बंदा एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता है, इन दैट केस हाउ यू कैन परफॉर्म द ऑडिट. सो दिस इज नेक्स्ट टू इम्पॉसिबल टास्क, हेंस ऑडिट ऑफ सच टैक्स पेयर नीड नॉट टू बी कैरिड आउट. ओके, दिस इज जस्ट अ इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर यू. I am going to take that particular thing. Okay, suppose if the registration certificate of the taxpayer will be cancelled, in that case you need to perform the audit or not, that is the question. आपको audit allot हो गई and after that you find out that the particular person has already cancelled the registration, in that case how we can perform the audit. और जो रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हुआ ना, दैट इज प्रायर टू द इंटीमेशन ऑफ ऑडिट, प्रायर टू द इंटीमेशन ऑफ ऑडिट, इन दैट केस द ऑडिट ऑफ सच टैक्स पेयर नीड नॉट टू बी कैरिड आउट. दिस इज द गाइडलाइन ऑफ द जीएसटी काउंसिल. मैं आपको जो कुछ भी बता रहा हूं, दिस इज द स्पेसिफिक गाइडलाइन इशूड फॉर द जीएसटी अथॉरिटी. टैक्स पेयर इज एग्जिस्टेंट, टैक्स पेयर है, बट द डॉक्यूमेंट्स आर सीज्ड, डॉक्यूमेंट्स आर सीज्ड बाय द CGST department. Suppose you are auditor of SGST and CGST has already seized the documents or ED or by the court or by the police. In that case, we have to wait. Okay, we have to defer our audit for the decision or for the release of the documents by the other authority. So in case non-existence hai, we are not going to do the audit. If the particular person has already cancelled the registration, in that case also there is no requirement to perform the audit. In case documents are seized, in that case also we are going to defer our audit. Investigation verification by some other wing or agencies are going on. यहाँ पर अगर कोई इंस्पेक्शन या फिर वेरिफिकेशन चल रहा है, इन दैट केस वेदर वी नीड टू परफॉर्म द ऑडिट और नॉट, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. सो इन दैट केस इफ देयर इज एनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन और वेरिफिकेशन इज गोइंग ऑन, in that case there will be no effect on your audit. That means you have to perform your audit, you have to start your audit, there will be no any issue with that. During examination the business model of the auditee is found fraudulent. business model पूरा का पूरा मॉडल ही हमको ऐसा लगा कि this model is fraud generated. Okay, so in that case, we just need to transfer the case to the enforcement wing and they are going to decide the further action. We are not going to perform the audit further. Okay, if the complete business model is found fraudulent. But if during the business audit activity, you found that the taxpayer is engaged in certain fraudulent activities, कुछ एक्टिविटीज में वो डीलिंग कर रहा है बट द बिजनेस मॉडल इज नॉट फ्रेडुएंट इन दैट केस वी हैव सेक्शन नंबर 74 of CGST Act because post doing the business audit or after the business audit we are going to pass our order under section number 73 or 74. If there will be any fraud in that case we are going to pass the order under section number 74. If no fraud, in that case the order is to be passed in section number 73. So if during your business audit you found that the taxpayer is dealing in certain fraudulent activities, in that case we just need to pass cover order under section number 74 of CGST Act. Accordingly payment and all those things will be charged. Okay, penalty and all those things will be charged. That is what is the thing we need to do. If the taxpayer is not cooperating with the audit team, in that case we just need to issue the so cause notice to the taxpayer that whatever will be the documents we required you are not going to provide the same, hence we are going to impose the penalty under section number 125 of CGST Act. Also we need to issue the show cause notice और जैसे ही आप show cause notice issue करोगे definitely that particular person आपको support करने लग जाएगा. That thing we can do. So these are the certain specific scenarios which plays a very important role. Okay, क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है कि हम लोगों के दिमाग में क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. To resolve your questions, I have take that particular points. Okay, so all these scenario, all these situations are okay for you. Now we'll discuss on certain important areas for auditor. But before discussing on that particular point, we'll discuss on certain reconciliation which you need to take care while doing your business audit or while finalizing the business audit. वरना क्या होगा कि आप बोलोगे सर आपने reconciliation के बारे में तो बात ही नहीं की. So there is requirement. You just need to demand the reconciliations of GSTR 3B and GSTR1. First, you need to demand the reconciliation of GSTR1 and GSTR3B, which is from sales perspective. Okay. You just need to demand that particular reconciliation. If there will be any difference, in that case, you have to ask the reason of the difference, and we should ready with that specific type of reconciliation from the sales perspective of GSTR1 and GSTR3B return. Also, we need to demand one reconciliation of books versus 3B and books versus 1, which is also from sales perspective, not from purchase perspective. Okay. Then we need to demand one reconciliation of the reverse charge mechanism paid versus payable. Or whenever you are going to demand that particular type of reconciliation of RCM, in that case, demand that particular thing with headwise. Okay, that means legal expenditure, this is the amount. Related to commission, this is the amount on RCM. Related to my freight, this is the amount on which I have paid the RCM. And उसके against में आपको books of accounts का भी reconciliation मंगाना है. As per RCM, the freight amount is 5 lakh rupees on which RCM has already been paid. And in books of accounts, the freight amount is 5 lakh rupees. So no difference, zero. GST has already been paid under reverse charge mechanism on the whole amount of freight. That is what is the thing we need to do. कई बार क्या होता है हम लोग अलग से एक लिस्ट मंगाते हैं फॉर द आरसीएम पेड एंड देन आफ्टर वी आर गोइंग टू कंपेयर वन टू वन फ्रॉम द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट. दिस इज द टाइम टेकिंग टास्क. Okay, you just need to issue a notice and give a time of 10 days to the taxpayer that these are the reconciliation you should ready and provide to us so that we can easily perform our audit work. तो आपका एक reconciliation वाला पार्ट तो ऑलरेडी हो गया. उससे जो रेवेन्यू लीकेज आपकी निकलने वाली है, यू कैन इजीली आइडेंटिफाई. देन आफ्टर यू कैन फोकस ऑन द सेक्शन नंबर 16, देन आफ्टर यू कैन फोकस ऑन द सेक्शन नंबर 15, then you can focus on section number 10, 11, 12 of the CGST Act and section number 12 of the IGST Act. You can easily focus on that as well. Okay. Then next type of reconciliations. Basically, if you are going to demand these particular type of reconciliation, in that case, from the reconciliation perspective, there is no requirement to demand any other document. Okay. Next one is my GSTR 3B versus GSTR 2B. This reconciliation is also very much important reconciliation. But when you are demanding the reconciliation from the GSTR 2B from GSTR 3B, in that case you just need to ensure one thing. जो GSTR 2B का अमाउंट है उसमें से इनएलिजिबल आईटीसी ऑलरेडी रिमूव्ड हो, सेक्शन 17 सबसेक्शन 5 की ब्लॉक्ड क्रेडिट ऑलरेडी रिमूव्ड हो. So whenever you will demand the GSTR to be return की input tax credit का को, then at the same time demand one list as well, so that you can total the particular list and you can compare the total amount of that list with the GSTR 3B return and with the GSTR 2B return ka amount which you are going to provide for the reconciliation, so that you can verify about the genuineness. And in that particular list you should demand the bifurcation as ineligible and section number 17 subsection 5 की blocked credit be required separately. So that will be your perfect reconciliation. कई बार होता क्या है, we are just going to demand the reconciliation between GSTR 3B and 2B. That person is going to provide you the reconciliation like that. Sir, this is my IGST, this is my CGST, this is my SGST. As per my 2B, the input is 1 lakh, the input is 5 lakh, the input is 5 lakh. As per my 3B, the input is 90,000. The input is 4,80,000. The input is 4,80,000. 20,000. I have less claim. I have less claim. फिर हम लोग उसमें से ढूंढने बैठते हैं कि यार इसमें से ब्लॉक्ड कितनी है, इसमें से इनएलिजिबल कितनी है, तो हमारा कितना सारा टाइम जो है खराब हो जाता है. सो इफ वी आर गोइंग टू परफॉर्म अवर ऑडिट इन अ इफेक्टिव वे, फॉर दैट पर्पस वी कैन डू वन थिंग. Just demand this particular type of reconciliation as well, and also demand that please provide the bifurcation of your GSTR to be written in Excel with eligible and ineligible ITC, so that you can easily track the same. That is what is the way we need to follow. Also, we need to demand the reconciliation between the GSTR 3B and the books of accounts. One more reconciliation is required, that is my turnover reconciliation. Turnover as per the books of accounts, turnover as per the GSTR 3B return. If there will be any differences, in that case reason of the differences is required. That is what is the way how we are going to provide the reconciliations. So these are the important and specific reconciliations which is required. Okay. Now when you are finalizing your GST audit at the same time, when you are finalizing your GST audit at the same time, वैल्यू को हम लोगों को कैसे असेस करना है. So there are total two situations are there, just two situations are there. One is normal. In normal situation, the value should be transaction value. How we can identify the normal situation? When the buyer and supplier is not the related party and price is the sole consideration. पैसे के अलावा मैं उसको कुछ भी नहीं दे रहा हूं. Suppose I am going to provide, or I am going to sell a particular product, or suppose I am going to sell this particular course to Tanisha ji. Okay. For that purpose, I am charging 1,000 rupees from Tanisha ji for this specific course. Okay. 1,000 rupees is the fees, and I am going to charge from Tanisha ji. So in this specific case, buyer and supplier, that is me and Tanisha ji, is not a related party. Okay. and price is the sole consideration. That means that 1000 rupees Tanisha ji is going to provide me. उसके अलावा यहाँ पर मुझे कोई गिफ्ट नहीं मिल रहा है, कोई दूसरी चीज नहीं मिल रही है. So the price is the sole consideration. Hence this 1000 rupees will be the transaction value and GST will be charged on this amount. Now this is the identification. अगर आप उस बिजनेस एंटिटी की ऑडिट कर रहे हो, इफ यू आर डूइंग द ऑडिट ऑफ द पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस एंटिटी, इन दैट केस यू जस्ट नीड टू चेक दैट दिस इज द नॉर्मल सिचुएशन. इसके अलावा वहां पर क्या हुआ है, क्या कोई प्रिंसिपल एजेंट का कमीशन बुक है क्या? You when you will analyze the profit and loss account, if there is any commission related expenditure is there, that means that person has appointed certain commission agent. In that case you just need to ask, you are principal, who is your agent? Just provide us the list of agent. So when you will receive in your hand the list of agent, in that case you just need to verify the value of supply for the goods which is transferred to that agent. You just need to check the transfer slip and the price which is charged from the agent. And you just need to ensure in this specific case rule number 29 will be applicable. That means open market value और वो agent जितने में आगे supply करेगा उसका 90%. So you can also check the GST return of that particular agent for the valuation perspective. That is what is the one way we can follow. Okay, next, suppose this is my first situation, which is agent. Second, suppose there is any branch transfer. In that case, the same example we have already taken for the branch transfer. Okay, now suppose I am going to provide a particular product, or I am going to provide a particular product to Mr. Y. X is going to provide a particular product to Mr. Y for 1 lakh rupees. Okay. And Y is going to pay 60,000 in cash, and Y is also going to provide 40,000 as printer. So in that case, price is not sole consideration. In that case, we need to go for the valuation rule number 27, and we have to check that the valuation is correct or not. For that purpose, we have to take the reference of the valuation rule. How we can identify this particular type of transaction? So for that purpose, we just need to demand the headwise sales. We can easily identify the sales, and if in the particular sale, if there is any receipt of goods or any other thing, in that case we just need to ensure about the valuation. So this is the specific thing. In that case, we have to bifurcate the valuation in two parts. One is normal situation, whatever will be the transaction price, we are ready with that and we are going to accept that transaction part. But in other situations, in case of principal to agent, in case of price is not the sole consideration, in case of branch transfer, in that case we have to take the reference of the various valuation rule 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, how we are going to identify? Or suppose koi valuation, if you are not able to decide the valuation in a specific situation which is not a normal situation, in that case you just need to do one thing, cost plus 10% will be the value of supply, and you have to demand the GST on that. If that person has paid GST on that amount already, in that case there is no issue. But if there will be any less payment of GST, in that case we have to ask the question and we have to raise the demand in our para. So valuation plays a very important role, and how we can identify and verify the valuation, that is what is the point. Okay, so in our today's session we have started our discussion from the initial stage of the GST audit, that what type, how we are going to initiate the GST audit. We first need to understand the nature of the business so that we can easily cross verify the same through the HSN code, SSC code, which is mentioned on the GSTN common portal. Also, we are going to understand the activities which is performed by the business. We are also going to check what type of documents which is required by the business entity. उसके बाद में हम लोगों ने GST रिटर्न का एनालिसिस किया कि what are the things we need to check in case of analysis of the GST return. We need to check the supply, we need to check that all those things, that means the ITC is eligible or not, the value is perfect or not, the place of supply is perfect or not, how we can verify the place of supply. For that purpose we are going to demand the Excel sheet, and through that we can analyze the same. We have also discussed about certain important parameter and the reconciliations which is required while doing the GST audit, and also we have covered certain points related to revenue leakages. Okay, So this is all from my side. If you have any question, any doubt related to our today's session, then please put the same in the chat box. I am here to provide the reply. And if there is no any question is there, in that case, I expect from everyone that please provide your valuable feedback for our today's session in the chat box, because your feedback plays a very important role. Also, if it is not possible to schedule tomorrow's session in evening, in that case we may plan the session in morning 8 to 10 am. अगर आपके लिए 8 बजे possible है तो, because Sunday है, if you want a free day, in that case we may plan the session from 8 to 10 am. So you have 3 tasks. If you have any question pending, please put the same in the chat box. Second, whatever will be your feedback for our today's session, please provide in the chat box. And third, provide your opinion about tomorrow's session time. Just comment in the chat box on fastest basis. Evening is okay. Okay. We are not going to change the time. We'll inform. If there will be no any specific information is there, in that case, session will be 6 to 8. Okay. And if you have any question which you want to discuss in our tomorrow session, in that case, you can do one thing. You just need to text me over the WhatsApp, so that I will take the question in our tomorrow's session as well. Okay. This is also possible. And if you want to discuss on any specific point in the session, in that case, you may also provide me on the chat, so that I can take that point as well. Or अगर नहीं possible हुआ कल, then I will provide you the recording of that particular point as well. Okay. So thank you everyone for your valuable feedbacks. Thank you for joining the session. We'll meet you soon. Hopefully tomorrow sharp at 6 p.m. only. Okay. You all have received the PDF file, and if there will be any query, you may connect with me over WhatsApp. Okay. So thank you everyone. Bye bye. Good night. Take care.